Is this just a Tesla thing? Is it just an Nvidia thing, or is all Mag 7 getting hit?
So if you look at where the last high was for the Meg 7 cohort, if you look in the terminal, so it was December 17th. So obviously that was the day before the Fed's decision in December. So you've seen that in a correction, the Mag 7 down over 10% from that record for the cohort. But the most of it has been driven by Tesla. So Tesla's down actually over 35% in that span alone. So then if you compare it to the other ones that are in that, if you're looking at Microsoft, Amazon, also Alphabet, both of them are down. All of them are basically a little bit over 10%, but then Meta's the only one out of the group that's higher in that span.
I am curious, though. I mean, and particularly when we look at the drag from Tesla, not only on the Mag 7, but of course on the broader market as well. Is there any sense here that there could be a reversal? I mean, we're not really seeing the dip buying into that particular stock. You're seeing it in a couple of the other names here. Right. But it seems like, at least for right now, investors seem to just kind of be shying away from this stock.
It's interesting, too, because I was speaking with Emma Wu, who heads derivatives strategy at JP Morgan, and she was noticing, based on yesterday's data, the first hour and a half of trading, obviously when stocks were close to their lows of the day, she saw the most selling within the retail cohort on record, so down by $1 billion. But then, so basically traders were selling Palantir as well as Alibaba the most, and Alibaba was coming off of a good stretch on the back of those earnings last week. But then throughout the day yesterday, you saw people come back in and start to buy, but nonetheless, on a net basis, it was still down about $1 billion.
Wow, that's interesting. What about options market into Nvidia tomorrow?
So that's going to be important because the EE function in the terminal, so we can see the options implied move over one day following its reporting. It's basically Nvidia stock alone is supposed to swing about 8% in either direction. So if you compare that over the last 8 quarters, on average, it's been closer to about 5%. So clearly the bar, again, being raised here on what they're going to report, because typically we'll see them beat estimates, raise those expectations. We were here a year ago last February. I know a lot of people like to talk about the weakness seasonality more broadly wise, the second half of February, which we are seeing the S&P 500 down month to date. But Nvidia beat those expectations, but the implied move for the S&P 500 on Thursday, the day after Nvidia reports, is about 80 basis points in either direction.